You see, you need to understand that success has two parts. Number one, external achievement, and number two, internal fulfillment. Oftentimes, the mistake is many people in their pursuit of success are focused on the external achievement while they ignore the internal fulfillment. But you see, you need to understand that no matter what you achieve on the outside, if there is no congruence, if there is no alignment between what is happening on the outside and what is happening on the inside, no matter what you achieve, no matter what you acquire, you are still going to feel like a failure. Hi, Akintola Samuel here again, and you're welcome to another episode of the Book of the Week. So we reviewed a couple of books on this channel that I believe you're going to find value adding. Midas Touch by Robert Kiyosaki and Donald J. Trump, and a couple of others. Also Smarter by Curtis Jackson. You know him as 50 Cent, right? And a couple of other books. So I'd encourage you, after you watch this, or if you want to pause this right now and go watch the other book reviews, you're going to find it very insightful and applicable. So today I want to review a book titled The Pursuit of Purpose. The Pursuit of Purpose by Dr. Miles Monroe. Dr. Miles Monroe was someone that was known for his practical insight into the topic of purpose, right? When it comes to the subject of purpose, Dr. Miles Monroe was the authority, right, when he was alive. And for the most part, when people still want to talk about purpose today, they refer to his content and his materials. He was the one that said that when purpose is not known, or where purpose is not known, abuse is inevitable. You know, I came across this book many years ago, The Pursuit of Purpose, as an undergraduate, right? This is a very old, I don't know if it still has this cover, but this is a very old cover. You know, I just decided to talk about some of the books I've read in recent times, you know, and in the past years, because some of the books I read so many years ago, 5, 10, 20, no, not up to 20, right? Like say 15 years ago, right? So many of those books I still find very insightful because I still make reference to them. For me, books are not just something you read, right? Books are something you should use, right? Books are the tools of anyone who desires greatness. So your books are meant to be your tools, and that's why one of the things I don't do, right? You might like it, you might not like it, but it's me. I don't give out my books. I used to, but I hardly do that anymore. Number one, they don't come back the way you give them out. Number two, most times they never come back, right? It goes from hand to hand, and before you know it, the book gets missing. And the day you want to make a reference to it, or maybe something comes to your mind and you really want to go back to that book, the book is absent. And sometimes you might not even be able to get it to buy at that particular point in time. So I read this book as an undergraduate, The Pursuit of Purpose, right? Very insightful book. And two things that, or specifically two stories, right, got me thinking in this book. And these stories were even in the introduction and the first chapter of the book. The story, according, I don't know if these are fictitious characters or if this is a true life story, but according to Dr. Miles Monroe, even in the introduction, he was talking about a man by the name of, I think, Mr. Cambridge, right? Mr. Cambridge. And Mr. Cambridge was a 66-year-old man who had every trapping of success, who had everything that other people would desire, every other person wants to have in life. And there was this particular young man by the name of Winston, right, who was walking, you know, around the beach area where the house of Dr. or Mr. Cambridge, as it were, was. Yeah, Mr. Cambridge. And he noticed that Mr. Cambridge was about to drown. So he rescued Mr. Cambridge. And when he did that, right, Mr. Cambridge asked him a question. He said, "Why did you do that? Why did you rescue me?" And naturally, if someone wants to drown and if you rescue the person, shouldn't the person be grateful, right? So Winston got, you know, puzzled. He was confused that why would I just save this man's life? And Winston had known Mr. Cambridge for 20 years. And this was a man, because of his success, because of his achievements, he adored him. He even wants to be like him. According to the story, you know, as tears flooded the aged eyes of the old man, that is Mr. Cambridge, buried his face in his hands and lamented. What was it all for? He said, "Is this all there is? What did I gain? I have everything and yet I have nothing." Have you ever felt that way? You have everything. Of course, I don't think you should feel that way yet. Get everything before you feel that way. But that's why we're reviewing this book, right? He said, everyone thinks I'm a success, but I'm a failure. I've given everything and I've received nothing. I've made my parents happy and proud of me, and my wife has everything she could desire. My children want for nothing. My reputation among my friends, associates, and enemies is impressive. Still, I am empty, depressed, frustrated, and sad. My life has no meaning. Unlike my bank accounts, which are well filled, I am unfulfilled. So, as a young undergraduate, this statement got me thinking, why would a man have so much and feel that empty? You see, you need to understand that success has two parts. Number one, external achievement, and number two, internal fulfillment. Oftentimes, the mistake is many people in their pursuit of success are focused on the external achievement while they ignore the internal fulfillment. But you see, you need to understand that no matter what you achieve on the outside, if there is no congruence, if there is no alignment between what is happening on the outside and what is happening on the inside, no matter what you achieve, no matter what you acquire, you are still going to feel like a failure. You see, one of the things this man said, Mr. Cambridge, one of the things he said to the young man, according to the story in the book, right, by Dr. Miles Monroe, The Pursuit of Purpose, right, was when the young man rescued him, Winston, when Winston rescued Mr. Cambridge, Mr. Cambridge said to him, your good deed is the cause, C-U-R-S-E. Your good deed is the cause of my existence. Why would a successful man say that? Having achieved everything, having been successful, having had all the cars, the clothes, a beautiful wife, well-behaved children, successful children in their own right, why would you get to a point where you make that conclusion that your life is empty? You see, it is not enough to be a success to the people out there. The question is, do you feel like a success on the inside? And I remember reading the second illustration, and I remember reading the second story in the first chapter, right, of this book. The chapter is titled Understanding Purpose. The story is told of Dr. Clyde Wilson Jr. and how he was being given an award for his distinguished service to the community. And the day this award was going to be presented to him, the community was there. His parents were there to, celebrate with him, rejoice with him that, wow, our son has done something outstanding. He's even been recognized by the community. But you see, something amazing happened, which I strongly believe happens to many people, but people just respond in different ways. When they called the doctor to the stage, it says that as Dr. Wilson stood on the stage holding the plaque, when they called the doctor to the stage and he was given the award, the plaque, according to the account by Dr. Miles Monroe, he said as Dr. Wilson stood on stage holding the plaque, the crowd rose to their feet. Cameras flashed and shouts of adulation filled the room. Then, as the applause subsided, silence filled the room. Everyone waited for the response of the good doctor. For a moment, he stood erect, poised to speak. Then his composure broke, and with tears flooding his eyes, the young doctor pleaded with his parents in a loud voice that mirrored the despair in his eyes. Please, Mom and Dad, forgive me. I'm sorry, but I can't go on. Bewildered and embarrassed by the moment, the chairman helped the doctor off the stage. The crowd stood in questioning shock. What could possibly be stealing this great moment from this successful individual? As Clyde and his parents drove home that evening, Clyde attempted to explain to his perplexed parents the cause of his uncontrollable behavior. As his words spewed over one another, he tried to describe the frustration that had built within him over the past 10 years. Everything I've accomplished and achieved during these years has been done to please you, Dad, and to fulfill your lifelong dreams. Did you see that? He had been carrying this guilt for 10 years. He had been carrying this frustration for 10 years. The question I have for you is, for how long have you been frustrated? For how long have you felt empty? For how long have you felt you are living someone else's dreams? You see what the doctor said? He said, I've been living your dreams. I've been fulfilling your dreams. It has been your dream all along for me to become a doctor, but you never found out what I wanted to become. You see, many of us, when you were asked, while you were very young, maybe in primary school, many of us were asked, what do you want to become? Some people said spy, pilot. Some people, people said different things, doctor, engineers, musician, an artist, People said different things, but over the years, one of the things that happens is that society, family, and friends, they stifle that dream. And they make you believe over time, consciously, unconsciously, that your dreams are not valid. Before you know it, society presents to you something that seems to be more acceptable. And in the bid to be acceptable, right, and considered successful by the society, you forget what your soul is crying out for, right? So the doctor said, I've become what you wanted me to be, but I have never become who I am. The question again is, who are you becoming? Who are you becoming? And you say, everybody's becoming someone or something. Every day, with every breath you take, you are becoming someone. The question is, are you becoming what you want to become? Or are you becoming who you should become? Or are you becoming what the society wants you to become? Are you becoming what your friends and family want you to become? Are you becoming someone that you believe will be acceptable to the world out there? So the doctor said, Dad, you know what? This has never been my dream. I never wanted to become a doctor. So what did he want to become? He said, despite of all the cars, the homes, and other material things I now have, my life is empty. I never wanted to be a doctor like you, Dad. In truth, I hate being a doctor. I always wanted to be a musician, but you and Mom would not allow me follow that dream. Never allow anybody to stop you from fulfilling your dreams and your destiny, because guess what? At the end of the day, they are not going to give account for your life. You are going to give an account for every second, every minute, every hour that God entrusted you with. Time is a gift. Life is a gift. And God is going to ask you how you spend it at the end of your life. Will you be able to give other people as an excuse for not doing that which God sent you to this earth to do? Of course not. That excuse is not going to be acceptable. You see, so the doctor went ahead to tell his friends, he said, please understand, I love and respect you deeply. I know how you have sacrificed to provide me with my education, and I thank you for it. But tonight, I realize I cannot continue living to fulfill your dreams and expectations. I must start fulfilling my own. And now, this is the part that really changed everything. It got to that point where he realized that he can't continue living his life this way. Many people get to that point in their life where they realize they've been living other people's dreams, fulfilling other people's plans. But the courage to make that decision, to say, you know what? It's time to put a stop to this. It's time to start living my dreams. It's time to start fulfilling my destiny. That courage is what many people lack. My encouragement to you is, no matter what it requires, do what it takes to fulfill your dreams. Do what it takes to fulfill God's plan for your life. You want to know how to discover God's plan for your life? Because I know that might be the question in somebody's heart right now. How do I even know what my purpose is? You see, you need to understand that purpose oftentimes is not discovered overnight. It's discovered over time. Some people will, some people already know their purpose. All their lives, they've already known, this is what I want to do. This is who I want to be when I grow up. But you see, for the most part, many of us, we're going to discover our purpose gradually. It's going to be revealed to us over time. The goal is to keep walking, to ensure that you are in step with the Master. And you see, there is something on the inside of every one of us. There is this pull. There is this call. There is this demand on you, that there is something driving you towards a particular direction. Oftentimes it's God that puts that desire there. Don't ignore it. Don't ignore it. Your dream is not something you see when you are deep asleep. Your dream is something that keeps you awake even during the day and in the night time when everybody is sleeping. So the question is, what is your purpose? Have you found it? If you've not found your purpose, read this book, In the Pursuit of Purpose by Dr. Miles Monroe. If you found it, are you living according to that purpose? Or are you pursuing the material things? The thing about material things is that they always change. If you buy a car today, a bigger car is going to come out in a few months' time. If you are living for things, guess what? You would never catch up. It's a game you can never win. So I'd encourage you, get the book if you can lay your hands on it. If you have it, read it. If you've read it before, read it again. I believe there are things that you will still see in the book that you didn't see the first time you read it. In the Pursuit of Purpose by Dr. Miles Monroe. That's our book of the week, right? So if you've enjoyed this episode or other episodes, subscribe to this channel. Always remember to do that if you've not done that. Turn on the notification, that bell icon, click on it to turn on notification, right? And invite someone to be a part of this. Share it with someone so that they can also learn one or two things from these episodes. So enjoy the rest of your week. Talk to you again. See you in the next video.